everyone, welcome back to Vickie's Country Home. Got a couple of things I'm going to share with y'all today. First of all, this week I was blessed with a lot of canning stuff, and one of them is an All-American Canner 921 that I got just an amazing deal on. I think it had water in it once, but I don't think it ever even had jars in it. So that was part of it, and then part of that deal, the same person had these canning jars. And I think some are antique. They may all be antique, I don't know, but they're really neat. Most of these are the bale jars. This one, the glass looks really old. You can tell because it's all runny. And then one of these. And this may be a newer, I think it's a bicentennial, so that's probably 70s. But anyway, so I got those, and then I'm going to show you the rest of the haul that I got today from another neighbor that's moving, and I'm not kidding. I think there's probably 10, 12 dozen canning jars, and all in good shape, plus one whole 12-pack case of Kerr half-gallon jars that have never been opened. So that was a lot of fun. I'll show y'all what that looks like too. So I'm going to get those out of my way. And then I'm going to show you the main reason for this video. Mrs. Lori messaged me pretty late her time. She was up late doing her research. She messaged me asking what kind of grain mill I had. And I actually have several for different purposes. So I said, well, what if I just kind of set them up so you can see what they're like, but also maybe test them so you get an idea too. So that's what I'm going to do today. And nothing fancy about it. We're just going to see how these grain mills work and tell you a little bit about them so that maybe if that's something you're looking at, you can make a little bit better decision, because it can be very confusing. So the first thing I'm going to show you, I'm not even going to use this for wheat. This I bought strictly for dried corn. And it's pretty rough, very inexpensive. It's got metal wheels. If I take this part off, I can show you what those look like. I don't want it to all fall apart. But as you can see, maybe, there's just rough textures on these two wheels. And as you turn the handle, that's going to cause them to rub together and grind the corn. Now corn, I'm probably going to use a rougher grind anyway, and it's pretty hard. So this is perfect for that. It's called a Molina, or I don't know what else, but that's what this is. Now again, you probably would not want to try and grind wheat in there, although you could. Wheat or oats or other kinds of grains. But it does a really good job for corn. The next one I have, I bought a number of years ago. And the reason I chose this is because I can use it on my Kitchenaid mixer. But I can also use it as a manual. So it just clamps to your countertop. And in my case, it won't clamp. So I have to use a table or something else. But it's a hand crank. And we'll look and see. And it has metal grinding also. do this and all fall apart. But you have these two metal pieces that, as they turn, they cause the grain to get ground. Now, it is adjustable somewhat. It's not super fine. What I found is using it, I usually had to do more than one pass. So that is the manual one. However, this can come off of here, and this is just the hand grind portion. Okay, so the reason that I chose this one is because if you take this off the manual base, there's this little attachment right here. And if you put this on, and it just clicks on, now this portion fits into the front of your Kitchenaid mixer. And again, you have a little bit of a control over your grind. Smaller would be counterclockwise. But like I said, I would have to grind it twice to get a fine grind. The other reason I really liked this take that piece off and the hopper. Now this can either be used again with either the Kitchenaid or it can be used with the manual. But this can click on here. The hopper can go on here. And now I can make rolled oats. If you use oats groats, I can actually roll oats all with this one system. And you had to buy the pieces, put them together, but it all works together. So that was why I bought this setup. And I do like it. But I will say that as far as grinding the wheat berries, it did take me 2 passes to make a fine grind. So I'm going to set that one aside. And then you've seen me use this one before. And this is the one I use most of the time just because it really does a really good job. And it does it the first time around for the most part. And that is the Mockmill. Now, there are fancy ones that are standalone. I didn't want another standalone appliance. And this, as you can see, comes in a fairly small box that I can store in the cupboard, and it doesn't take up a lot of room. But this Mockmill does a great job, and it grinds pretty fine, and that is all adjustable here, so you can do that. And it has the stone wheels, so out of all of them, this is probably the one I use the most, only because it's a time saver, and it hooks up really fast to the mixer, and it grinds it fine the first time. So I really like the Mockmill. So I'll show you how this one and the family grain mill works so you get an idea. So we'll be back. All right, it's really simple to put this together. It comes with a longer bolt for the attachment. I leave that in all the time because you can use it with any other attachments too. Let's see, I've got to turn this. There's a little notch right here that has to fit in here, and that's what holds it stable. So now we'll tighten that up. Okay. And I'm going to put it on a fine grind so that we can see that tighten down. And we'll see how it does. Alright, so it'll get a little noisy, but I'll probably turn the sound down for you. And for this one, I actually have to remove the bowl. Because this is where the grain is going to come out. And I'm going to make sure that that's facing down. Okay, so let's turn it on and see how it does. And I don't know if you can see it coming out. But this is on its finest grind setting. And it's okay, but it's not flour. So what I've had to do in the past is run it through again. It still doesn't make it super fine. Let's see. There, I got it a little bit firmer. It does a good job, but in the first pass, it's not completely a flour texture. Okay, didn't let it go completely all the way, but I did most of the way. That was about 1/8 of a cup of wheat berries. And again, there's what it ground to. And if you were looking for a whole wheat bread consistency, this would do it on the first pass. Now again, I've reground it. You could probably sift it if you wanted the finer flour and sift out some of the bran. That's what you get from here. Alright, I'm going to pour that in the little purple bowl. So that's what it looks like. Now I'm going to set that aside. And we'll put the Mockmill on, which again, this thing is so easy. Make sure I've got it set up right. And again, it has a notch that keeps it steady. You tighten that down. Now this one will feed directly into the bowl. So I'm going to move the camera angle down so you can see. All right. And again, this one is just so easy. There's almost no setup to it. So we'll turn it on. And again, about 1/8 of a cup. And that's now on its finest grain setting. already, this is more of a flour texture. Again, if you want to take the bran out, it will be a finer flour, but it comes out pretty fine grind straight out of here. Now, I don't know if it would work. I'd have to try it, but maybe there may be a way to make this a hand crank if you are a little bit handy. But for me, this is just so easy to use. And that's already ground all of it. And as long as I've got power, this will be the one I will be most likely to use, just because it's easy to set up and easy to clean. All I do is I'll probably put some rice through this later, but I don't even do that every time. So that's what it looks like. And I think you can even see this has more of a flour consistency. So that's what I have, and there are so many others out there, but if you're looking for a more cost-effective solution, which I was, the family grain mill, I'm gonna guess that I spent about $250 to $300, but that included manual Kitchenaid attachment, wheat grinder, and the flaker for making rolled oats. I think this one was $200, I think, about that. And those prices may be higher or lower. I don't remember. It's been a while. But again, the ease of use and how compact it is, plus getting this on the first pass were what sold me on the Mockmill. Again, if you want to spend a little bit more, you can get the countertop model, and it's not too big. It doesn't take up a lot of countertop, but that is an option too. It's probably, I don't know, there's one I think is about $100 more than this. And it's very convenient because you don't have to get your mixer set up at all. But for me, this is a perfect solution. It does what I need. And I really hope that this helps someone out as far as making a decision about what type would be right for you, whether it's power or manual. And there's some really good manual ones out there, but they can be really pricey. And I didn't want to spend that much for that. So you have to figure out what you want it for and how you're going to use it. And then just use this as a guideline. Again, this one has the stone burrs. The others have the metal wheels. That's a consideration. The stone will eventually wear out. I think you can buy replacement ones. Not sure of that, I think. The metal ones probably will eventually, but they're going to last maybe longer. But how much do you use it? So weigh all of those things. This is what works for me. So I hope this helps. And Mrs. Lori, I hope this gave you a better idea of maybe what you might want. And maybe Mr. Brown can get you a setup to do this manual too. He's pretty handy. But as far as everyday use, this is the one that I choose. So Thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share. And even if you're already subscribed, check that little notification bell, because I think some of my subscribers aren't getting notified when they want to be. So be sure and check that, because YouTube does play around once in a while and they don't always tell us when they're doing it. So check your notification bell and have it notify you anytime I upload a video. And I'm gonna be showing you a little bit of my other canning jar haul. God bless, and we'll talk again soon. Okay, this is my haul today. This is the same neighbor that I got some jars from the other day, and some lids and rings, and a little bit, some strainers and such. So I went to pick up the rest of it today, and there are a lot. I'm going to say altogether it's probably 11, 12 dozen good canning jars, mostly quart wide mouth, although there's regular too. These 2 boxes full of new lids and rings. Another big box full, plus all of these. And this is the 12-pack unopened case of wide mouth half-gallon mason jars. Actually, they're Kerr. I've never seen the Kerr. I've always seen the ball, but those are exciting because I use them for storage. So these plus more. This has just been crazy. So pretty exciting haul.